We're recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of the Overseas Chitrali. I know it's been a while since I did another episode after my first one. I've just been, super busy with the graduate school and, starting online classes and getting adjusted to everything like that. But yeah, it's been some crazy times, and I hope everybody's keeping safe in these crazy times. For today's episode, I have Dr. Saimat with me. She's a clinical psychologist from Chitral. She also has a YouTube channel where she gives valuable insights of different psychology topics. And the great thing about her YouTube channel is that she makes a lot of complicated things very easily digestible, and it makes it easy for the everyday person to understand them. With that, we'll get started. Dr. Sama, do you want to, give a little more detailed or a little more descriptive information about yourself?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I think, Mushahid, you have covered everything. But
Mm-hmm.
what I can add is that other than YouTube, YouTube is basically part-time my hobby that I have recently initiated.
Yeah.
But my main work is teaching. I am interested in teaching. So I teach in University of Karachi. So, and other than that, I give consultations at the same institute where I teach. So I think that's about it.
Okay, perfect. Um, like it's interesting because growing up in Pakistan and especially in Chitral, people are tell their kids to either go into medical or engineering. You don't really hear much about psychology or parents telling their kids to study psychology. What got you into studying psychology?
Yeah, you're right, but I think that's not the trend only in Chitral. That's unfortunately all over Pakistan, this doctor or engineer thing. And my story too is the cliche one where you first try for medical and then you look for something else. But in my case, it was like I always knew growing up. I think as a girl, I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor, MBBS or traditional BDS, but
Mm-hmm.
at the back of my mind, I knew that there could be something else that I can do. So when the time came, so I have half-heartedly applied for MBBS, and then I asked my dad when we were brainstorming, what else could I do? And the thing is, not exciting. What would we say? My dad himself has done psychology, but it never
Okay.
occurred to him that his daughter could also study psychology.
Yeah.
So that was a different thing. So when I said that, why not psychology? So luckily he went on board, and then here I am
Oh,
after
perfect.
7 years.
So I guess it worked out, just naturally. You were meant to be, in psychology.
Yes, I
Um,
knew what I don't want to do. And then after studying psychology, got to know that, okay, this is what I wanted to do.
Perfect. It all, worked out at the end. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, so I was really curious about, one thing, what's the situation like, for psychology in rural areas, especially like, Chitral, because growing up, like I said, there isn't much emphasis on it. If something happens to someone, they either say that, some demon has entered their body and, they're possessed. So
Hmm.
what is the situation like now in terms of all that?
Currently, as I told you that I'm practicing in Karachi.
Hmm.
So what I've heard or what my observation is in Chitrali, yes, as you said, can I use Chitrali terms?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. I'll
Like
translate
you
it
said,
afterwards.
demons, like
Yeah.
the okay, the appropriate word is balajuni, they
Yes.
say. So yes, that happens in Chitral, but what my observation is, the recent observation, that there have been a lot of support groups on social media. I myself is in part of this Facebook group where it's basically for females. So females, doctor, dermatologist, gynecologist, dentist, and even they have recently added me as a psychologist. So from that, you can see that the females of Chitral, they are getting awareness about it. They do ask questions and they do have debates on this thing, that whether everything is balajuni or there's psychological reason behind it.
Hmm.
So I think they're exploring it right now.
Hmm. I am curious as to what is, motivating people to explore these other things now. Um, Because
Social media has played a big part.
yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it is actually great to see that they are exploring these kind of, areas now, which is really interesting. Um, yeah, so again, going back to kind of Chitral and not like the cities, what are like, in your opinion, what are the most common psychological issues that are happening there right now?
I think the most important, or I can say, conversion disorder. Again, conversion disorder is a psychological term for balajuni. What happens is that in Chitral or in areas where there is not much importance for psychological expression, for expression like expressing yourself freely, what happens is that all the psychological problems, they are expressed in physiological way. You would see that everybody is coming to hospitals, they are having their test, nothing is shown up on the test, but you are having pain somewhere in your stomach or anything else. So the psychological problems, they are being translated in physiological ways. So that is the main thing that I've seen in Chitral, people complaining of physical symptoms.
Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. That makes sense.
It's difficult to digest.
I mean, if we look at it, like I remember growing up, like um, if something did happen, they would say just go to the doctor, do some tests, and if you can't find out, then or if you can't figure it out, then there's not either nothing is wrong with you, or there's some you're possessed, or there's something going on that's of the supernatural. But yeah.
Nazar lag gayi.
Yes, that's the. I think how would you translate Nazar Lagi? It's the bad eye or the evil eye, as
Evil's eye.
evil's eye. Yeah, which is very hard to quantify. How that works. Um, yeah, that's interesting. I was actually super curious about one thing in particular for Chitral. I know it's a very delicate topic to touch upon, but I did want to kind of talk a little bit about it, bring some light into it. And it was the situation of a lot of people, especially students, are committing suicide in Chitral. And I feel like this thing has been very, overlooked. People don't really talk about it as much because, they don't want to get into it. And I was wondering if we can talk a little bit about that. Can you tell me, first of all, like, what are the main causes in places like Chitral for these kind of things?
Right. See, if we talk about suicide in general, suicide is a symptom of depression, extreme severe depression, okay, where you give up all hope that you have for your life. So even in Chitral, if people are, I was reading on it. So what I saw is that the people in last 5 years who have attempted suicide or who have been successful in taking their lives are mainly youngsters or females, age ranging from 20 to 40 years. And things, the reasons that I read were domestic domestic relationship, where people are not allowed to express them freely. We can say that the parents, they are not able to understand their children when they are transitioning from childhood to adulthood. As we said, that they are exploring things. So even people in Chitral are exploring things, and the older generation is not much open about it. That's what my observation is. Second is gender inequality, that I also find that is cause of depression and ultimately leading towards suicide.
So it's
And
interesting,
one
like,
more thing, one more
yeah.
thing, sorry,
Mhm.
one more thing. What happens is that in Chitral, basically, there are two things: religious values and cultural values. Okay. So what has happened is, now Chitral is, because apparently it is geographical wise, it's very far away from other places. But
Mhm.
due to social media, due to internet, they are seeing things, the cultural things. So they are transitioning from religious way of living to cultural way of living.
Mhm.
What I'm trying to say is that the religion, it doesn't put pressure on you. The culture, that puts pressure on you. And somehow that is taking a toll on mental health of youngsters over there.
Mhm. More about the culture thing. So, are you saying that because they're being exposed to the rest of the world now, they're adopting newer things in their own way of life.
Mm.
And is that the issue? So is that what you were sorry, is that what you were saying? Like, because they're
So,
exposed through social media to so many things, they're adopting those things?
mm,
Is that what you were saying?
yes, in some way, the negative things we could say.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. I wanted to talk one thing about, I mean, is that especially about is that, you know, of all those, you know, suicide stories that, you know, we hear about, at least for me, I don't hear many about, you know, women. It's mostly you know the suicide stories of you know the men or the you know the young guys. uh, I don't know, why do you think that is? Like this is the first time I heard that it's very common amongst women in Chitral. I didn't know that before. The stories that I heard, like
Mm,
I said, they're mostly about you know men or you know young men, especially those who are in you know school, or the ones who are in you know universities or colleges that are doing this. Why is
mm,
that?
mm. Okay, what happens is that I said gender inequality.
Mm-hmm.
See, one thing that happens is that we associate certain emotions with gender.
Yep.
Like we say that women can cry, men cannot cry, men shouldn't cry. You know, you're
Mm-hmm.
not strong enough if you show your emotions, if you show that you're sad, if you that
be a,
show
be
indicates
a
that you're
man.
weak. Yes,
Be a
be a
man, right?
man.
Yeah.
Don't be a woman, or there is some other slang for it. Okay,
Yeah.
so what happens is that those youngsters, young guys, those men, they are not able to express their emotions, that what they are feeling, and they get tired of being strong all the time, and deep down they are going towards depression, and there is no one to support them. They have to support everyone else. So this is a possible reason of suicide among young men.
Yep, yep, for sure. Okay. One thing I'm really curious about is that, you know, how in rural areas can, you know, we educate people about, you know, more you know, educate them more about, you know, considering psychological issues as a serious matter. You know, sometimes they're
Mm,
like, you know, it's all in your head, you know, just, you know, snap out of it. Don't think too much about this. I mean, it's easier said than done. You know,
mm,
I personally don't know how it is to be in that situation, but I'm guessing it's very hard. It's like being in physical pain, except you
mm.
know it's the you know
Exactly.
except you know the physical pain is in your brain, which is you know something that controls your whole body. So how do you think we can educate people in rural areas to be more aware of these things?
Mm. You know, Mushahid, it's very unfortunate that in Chitral, the literacy rate is very high. It's more than 90%. Yet, there is no awareness about psychological issues. You would
Hmm.
think that a place where education level is so high, they should be open about it, right? So, for awareness, what we can do is that we can conduct workshops over there and try to talk about it as much as possible, because you know, the more you will talk about it, the more people will know that okay, this is something. Because uh, a lot of people are going through these things, and they are like shunting themselves that you know this is something happening to only me. So when other people talk about it, when they get a platform to talk about it, then they will know that this is not just us. Someone else is also going through it, and it there is a field associated with in which you study these problems, and we can actually seek help. So maybe we can start from there.
Hmm. No, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. You know, sometimes you feel like, you know, you're the only one who's having this issue and, you know, nobody else is. Um, I mean, at least like in, you know, in the West, what they have is in schools, they have counselors, you know, who you can go to and talk to. But also in the West, you know, parents are more open to talk about these things with their children. Yeah, that's hopefully you know things will you know work out in Chitral in other areas, you know, rural areas of the world. Um, One thing I really wanted to talk to you about was use of pharmaceutical medicines for you know dealing with psychological issues versus traditional um, medicines or traditional ways of dealing with them. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about, you know, what the situation of pharmacy. Hello?
Sorry, can you elaborate this?
Sorry, yeah, no worries. So I was wondering if you can talk about the use of pharmaceutical medicines to deal with
Hmm.
psychological issues versus, like by traditional, I mean like, talking about things or, going to a counselor or going to a psychiatrist and talking about these things. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about, both of these things and kind of give your viewpoint about them.
So your question is medicines versus counseling.
Yes.
Okay. There's no harm in taking medicines if they are used in the appropriate way. One thing about medicines and psychotherapy is that they go side by side. They are not mutually exclusive.
Hmm.
There are psychological problems that do need medicines, and if medicines are taken, then the treatment is very much more optimism than not taking the medicines. And there are problems where you just need counseling. If the problem is minor, you can, and if it is healed by just talking about it, then why do take medicines? And if the problem is severe, then yes, we work, psychiatrists and psychologists, we work side by side. We assess the patient, and if we see that the patient needs medicines, then we do refer them to psychiatrists. They go side by side.
That makes sense.
But the problem here is that, as you may know, a doctor is always considered a good doctor in Pakistan if they prescribe medicines, and if they tell your problem is not a problem, you can just
Mhm.
control it with your diet, then the patient would say, oh, it's not a good doctor. So the same thing goes here.
Yeah, but everybody just wants one pill that can fix everything, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I was actually a little while ago, I was watching a documentary. I don't remember the name. I don't know. I think it was on YouTube. It was about a person who went to, God, I don't remember where it was, somewhere in South America. And he did one of those shamanic rituals where he um, consumed something called ayahuasca. And he said that it helped him
Okay.
get over his depression, and it helped him get over his addiction with other drugs. Um, I don't know. Are you familiar with like the shamanic practices of do
No,
you
no,
know?
I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, okay. No, I was just curious because
Uh,
this these are like different ceremonies that people used to do like long, long time ago. Um,
mm-hmm.
I don't exactly know why they did it, but now people are saying that when they went through these ceremonies, what happens is they get over some of their their issues that they're battling with, whether it's anxiety, whether it's PTSD, or whether it's addiction to illegal
It's like,
substances.
is it like exorcism or something?
Oh, no, 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 no. It's like, so for example, it's a type of plant that
Okay.
they consume, and it's supposed to kind of give you, like, make you see things, which kind of essentially helps you get over some of the issues that you're facing. I don't know if you're.
Okay. No, I do know about substances that induce hallucinations, but I
Yes.
don't know about this specific
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, another one that the person was talking about was psilocybin. I think it's called magic mushrooms. In this
Yeah,
slang.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
yes.
were talking about how that also helped them get over some of the issues that they were facing. So I was kind of, then I started thinking about it. I'm like, wow, that's pretty interesting that this something that's considered illegal, in most of the countries in the world, helped them get over some of the issues that they were facing. So I was wondering if you can, shed some light on that.
I don't think that there are any evidence-based researches on it.
Hmm.
It is purely on subjective experience, and I think mostly hippies take
No, for sure.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting that you mentioned, like, it's subjective, because sometimes people say, like, they feel good, and it's more of a placebo effect. Um,
Yes.
and I don't know if maybe that's the case in those situations. But yeah, um, it's interesting.
If these people are taking these things regularly, it might be possible that they are addicted to it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they, got rid of one addiction, got another addiction.
Yes.
So, but yeah. Okay, awesome. Simon, thank you very much for, having this call with me. I really appreciate it.
My
Hopefully,
pleasure.
we can, raise more awareness about, these things that people don't talk about. And hopefully,
Inshallah.
and then hopefully one day, we'll be comfortable enough to talk about these in, you know, just in every day of life. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, Mushahid, for having
Yep.
me. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Take care.
Welcome. Allah Hafiz.
Enough.